Alright, what's up everybody? My name is Sen. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we are talking about Dragon Ball Fighterz. Now, don't mind the mess. I got them not that long ago. I've been doing a couple things this morning, such as playing Dragon Ball Fighterz, because if you guys didn't know, Dragon Ball Fighterz officially has rollback. It's out, and I didn't even know until I saw Lotus's video in my recommended talking about, yeah, rollback is officially here. I thought it was like clickbait or something like that, but no, it's here, it's playable, and they gave us kind of a whole rundown, I think either in a tweet or something like that, a link from a tweet or something going over the like what is and isn't available for the game, and kind of going over it. I mean, we already knew this, but you know, not just only is it not crossplay, but it's not crossplay between its own console generations, which is a big hit. I played a little bit today. It was a time, I mean, it was Dragon Ball Fighterz at the end of the day. I played in a bad connection, which it was bad. It was about 200 ms, which is, you know, it was playable enough, but also, you know, rollback can still only do so much from that distance. And then I played a good connection as well, which, I mean, it was good. It was kind of, I've grown accustomed to how rollback feels, so it kind of didn't really do anything crazy for me. It didn't really like wow me, because I've gotten so like rollback is the standard now. It's not this thing that's being implemented. I mean, it was really the turning point from Guilty Gear Strive, which every game was getting rollback from that game dropping. Like that really changed the standard of the game, which should have been changed a long time ago, probably since Killer Instinct 2013. But I mean, Lotus kind of said it the best, and yeah, I did watch this video. If you guys haven't watched this video, you should. It's just really feeling too little too late. It's a big slap to the face that you can't even play within your own consoles, so PS4 to PS5. PS4 does not get rollback. They have delay-based netcode. I think you can keep the PS4 version of the game installed and maybe play on there with them. I don't know, but it's really kind of coming to my attention that it's very likely that the definitive version of the game is going to be based on PC, and it feels as if this game is going to be reduced to a Discord fighter, potentially. I think it's going to have a lot more of a player base than, you know, your usual Discord fighters, but, you know, the hype just isn't there. And, I mean, such a big hit with Dragon Ball Fighterz no longer being at EVO this year, which is kind of crazy. Dragon Ball Fighterz has been a mainstay for so long, pretty much since the game's birth, and having it finally not be on the roster is kind of crazy. I mean, it's a little wild. So I'm wondering what potentially could be the next tag game that's kind of thrown into the mix that we get to see that with. Obviously, Project L is on the horizon somewhere someday. At this point, all I can really hope for is a new Marvel. Potentially, that'd be really nice, seeing as obviously Dragon Ball Fighterz got its roses, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite kind of flopped because of, you know, everything that went on around that time, and I'm not going to get into details. But I mean, Dragon Ball Fighterz stole everybody's hearts. So don't get it twisted. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a fun game mechanically. There's just things around it that people didn't like, which caused people to flock away from Marvel Infinite and kind of move on to DBFZ. And I was actually going to do a podcast talking about this game, but my co-host, aka my roommate, aka one of my best friends, is actually sick today, and he's not feeling too well. So maybe we will get to it if he's feeling up to it, but you know, it might be a little bit later before we actually get to that. As far as where I'm sitting for Dragon Ball Fighterz, and I'm curious to hear where you guys are sitting, because I mean, I've been playing this game since launch essentially, and you know, over time, I just got more and more tired of it. Obviously, Ed recently released for Street Fighter 6, and like, I suck with the character, but he's a lot of fun, and he's making me want to spend more time with the game. And I was hoping, like, when I was playing, let me just say, if I lost a match, like, I did felt that, like, man, I should have fucking won that kind of competitiveness. Be there in a way it hasn't been in a long time, and, you know, I feel so many things for that game. But I don't know, I just don't think it's to the point where I can take the game seriously anymore. I wanted to compete in Dragon Ball Fighterz, and I potentially had an opportunity to last year, but I was just going through some financial stuff to go to EVO. And even if I went 0-2 in bracket, it was what it was. But, you know, maybe there will be some online Discord tournaments. That would be pretty cool to see. If that's the case, I'll definitely enter in one of those and see if I can show up or whatnot. But it feels like every other game is doing so much more right than Dragon Ball Fighterz is. Like, is Street Fighter 6 for PS4? I'm actually curious, because I think it is, and if that's the case, I think you can play between console generations. It might be a PS5 exclusive, but, you know, crossplay is becoming a staple. Rollback implementation is becoming a staple. I mean, for the longest time, you've always been able to connect to PS4 and PS5, like, players. You can play the PS4 version of Guilty Gear Strive and play PS5 players, and also PC players. Just a little whack, I don't know. The game is still a lot of fun, just because there's so much crazy stuff you can do. Like, I feel like we're just going to be missing a tag game. Unless Marvel vs. Capcom 3 makes a big comeback, or Marvel Infinite makes a big comeback to, like, the Evo stage or something like that. I don't really know. But, you know, it feels wrong not having a tag game on the roster of major games that are being played right now. And seeing... I don't know, like, once again, it comes back around to, like, being too little too late. I mean, yeah, we've all been asking for rollback since this game released. Like, you know, we all had our fun with it with the delay-based netcode, but, you know, one of the major things that was holding the game back for so long was rollback. And, I mean, the community continued to support this game through thick and thin, through the pandemic, through everything. And, you know, a lot of great content was made based around either tournaments or, you know, player-to-player interaction, or, you know, Lythera or Dododoya and, like, the raid bosses and stuff like that. And, lots of good beginner content. Even I've made some myself, like match analysis. Like, we've got a lot of good. And one of the tournaments I recommend, by the way, the most is the Summit of Power for Dragon Ball Fighterz. That was an amazing tournament. I love going back and watching that tournament every so often. Like, I still do it. And you know, lots of cool characters and support from you know, patches, and yeah, new characters to the roster, new fighters passes or what have you. But eventually it just kind of fell flat, and like, they were continuing to, like, tweak the game to 11 and keep raising the bar for the game, but not really hitting on the things people really wanted them to. Which ultimately results in, like, for as old of a game as it is, like, it's still gonna be popping, I think, for some time. I don't know if Dragon Ball Fighterz will ever die, because, like, there's still a decently hardcore community for the game, and I understand, man. That game did amazing things, and, you know, you think being Arc System Works, like Nest Egg, this thing, and that has sold amazingly well. Like, I think I remember hearing that Dragon Ball Fighterz has over 8 million copies sold, and then the next best game sold is Guilty Gear Strive at 2 million. Like, how are you guys not catching on that, like, this is the game you should focus on? This is the game you should continue to support. And, I mean, I don't necessarily mean, like, oh, more DLC or anything like that, but, you know, just hear the community out, like. And, you know, if we got rollback so much sooner, like, that would have only helped. And now, like, you know, you're taking the populace of Dragon Ball Fighterz, which, more to the point where I think the primary version to play is going to be PC, is, you know, the PS5 and PS4 player base is essentially going to be cut in half. The Xbox One and then the Series X, or whatever the fuck it is going to be cut in half, as if that player base for Xbox wasn't, like, smaller comparatively to PlayStation as is. And I mean, the fighting game genre is niche enough as is, you know, compared to a colossal game that was Dragon Ball Fighterz, but you're putting walls up around it for no reason. This doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, there's plenty of games that were able to, I mean, Street Fighter 5 was a great example. You know, you had Street Fighter 5 with rollback on the base model PS4, and then that could play with Street Fighter 5 on the PS5. I don't see the difference here. The Dragon Ball Fighterz was originally a PS4 game. Street Fighter 5 was originally a PS4 game. They implemented rollback on both versions and have them be able to play amongst the player base. But then Dragon Ball Fighterz can't. Like, that's really a slap to the face. And yeah, just walls continue to like climb up. Like, I mean, it's possible that, you know, like I said, you're able to play the PlayStation 4 version and play against the PlayStation 4 community on the PS5. But once again, that's a slap to the face to the PS4 players because, hey, Rollback is out. We have Rollback, but you can't have it. But I think that's going to do it. I think that's my time. Let me know how you're feeling with the Rollback. I mean, I'm still probably going to mess around with the game casually, but yeah, man, it just feels weird. By the way, I pretty much called the timing. Everyone thought that Rollback was going to be announced on the Dragon Ball Fighterz Battle Hour over in January. But I said sometime in March, and we're literally one day away from March. So yeah, that's going to do it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more, check out the rest of the channel. In the description, there's links to not just my channel, but my friends' channels as well. Check out all that good stuff. And yeah, I guess keep on fighting. Peace.